Good morning to all of you out there. Welcome to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and today is January 6, 2022. It's a Thursday. Please join us. We have a full lineup today of very authoritative and interesting individuals who will cover the topics regarding this outbreak of COVID in Metro Manila, and then also the persistent, annoying presence of scammers online because dumadami na naman po, marami na naman pong magpapadala sa inyo ng message, and then yun pala, hindi naman pala siya galing sa bangko, but scammers. And then last but not the least, a person who does good deeds. He feeds the poor. He finds them out in the streets. He's almost biblical. He goes out in the streets, gathers them, and puts up a feeding, paano ba yun? Feeding, hindi naman clinic, feeding center. Okay, but anyway, let's start with our daily starter before anything else. I chose this, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. God has not given us a spirit of fear. And why did I choose this, my brothers and sisters, our viewers? I chose this because yesterday was probably the height of expressed fear and concern and sometimes panic because ang dami na po sa ating tinatamaan ng COVID or are having symptoms, flu-like symptoms, and there is confusion on whether they have the flu or whether they have COVID. Whatever it is, don't panic. Meron po ako isang kaibigan, natataranta na, nadidepress na. Sabi ko, teka, nagpa-test ka na ba? Kasi baka mamaya sinisipon ka lang dahil malamig, natataranta ka na dyan and you're asking me, am I going to die? The Lord did not give us a spirit of fear. He gave us He gave us faith and hope. So let us not panic. In the meantime, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star. Today, January 6, Thursday, daily COVID cases surged to 10,755. Now, sabi ko, huwag kayong magpanik. Bakit kanyo? We will find out from our first guest in a while because apparently, while the numbers are high, the cases are not severe. May mga nagsasabi pa nga na baka ito na yung hinihintay nating transition from serious COVID to endemic, from pandemic to endemic. So anyway, as far as the front page of the Philippine Star is concerned, daily COVID cases surged to 10,775. Metro Manila is now at a critical risk category. And yung pong critical risk category is just a measure, at least to guide people that why you have to cooperate, because there is a risk that if we don't cooperate, we don't take care of ourselves, hospitals are going to be filled up. To that point, Presidential Advisor Joey Concepcion has made a call to authorities and to the general public to make our response based on hospital capacities and levels of vaccination. Kasi kung 70 to 80% na po tayong bakunado sa Metro Manila, chances are, even if we all got COVID, it won't be severe or critical COVID. Kumbaga, para lang tayong natrangkaso. Yung iba po, nagpanic na, nagpunta na sa Mercury. Ayan, wala na kayong nabiling paracetamol, baka nahawa pa kayo sa pila. Anyway, let's go further. At the top of the Philippine Star, Benjie Hotel, where a Poblacion girl escaped, snuck out. Only spent 15 minutes until she was discovered. Benjie Hotel has been penalized with a 3-month suspension of accreditation by the Department of Tourism. and fined a whopping amount of 13,200 pesos. Kaliit. Anyway, okay, below that story, a picture of the Quiapo Church surrounded by Philippine National Police contingent of Western Police District. Ayan po, sarado, inunahan naman nung parish priest na sarado kami for translation. There will be no services because they are cooperating with the authorities to prevent widespread contamination. So that's the photo of the police, and translation canceled for the second year. Meanwhile, COVID-19 active cases, as I already read, 10,775. Ang mga namatay po kahapon, 58. Meron pa rin pong namamatay sa COVID, pero yan po kasi usually may comorbidity or ika nga naghintay ng matagal. That photo in the center of the Philippine Star is a photo of health workers attending to a patient at the Mandaluyong City Medical Center. So gumagalaw, umaaksyon ng ating mga local hospitals, and below that, you have a table full of antigen tests which were part of the swab cab. Parang mobile antigen swab testing service sponsored by the Office of the Vice President Leni Robredo in cooperation with the Quezon City government yesterday under Joy Belmonte. And bottom part of the Philippine Star, barangays, as we all heard yesterday, barangays and barangay captains have been tasked to restrict movement of the unvaccinated. Kayo pong mga tiga-barangay ay inuutusan ng Pangulo na pag may gagala-galang mga hindi bakunado dyan sa inyong lugar, ay damputin nyo na at i-detain na. Okay. Meanwhile, the DTI has announced that paracetamol supply will normalize this week. Okay. And then the Philippine Chinese Calamity Fund donates 1 million to STARS Odette Drive. Okay, yan na po yung mga balita. Just let me add to the news, no, na baka hindi kasi nalagay sa front page, but equally of importance, Secretary Duque, Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, Secretary Carlito Galvez, lahat naka-detain, naka-house arrest kasi lahat po sila tinamaan ng COVID-19, or hindi naman tinamaan directly but were exposed to people who tested positive. So let's pray for them, because that is the price that our government officials have to pay in service to the nation. For those of you in Laguna, heads up, malapit na po kayong ilagay sa level 3. Yan po ang na-announce sa balita this morning. And Iloilo registered its first Omicron patient daw. Pinatest daw at lumabas na meron silang yung isang seafarer galing abroad, nag-Omicron pala, nakaabot na ng Iloilo, doon lang nagkaalaman na may Omicron. However, the good news is that he has been living by himself, solo flight, so malamang at malamang wala raw na-infect. Boracay, in the meantime, if you are planning to go to Boracay, Aklan Governor Florencio Miraflores has issued an executive order that tourists going to Boracay must have a negative RT-PCR test, a QR code, and a health certificate. So yan po, no? Good morning sa mga kaibigan ko sa BIMEG, sa Essilor, and sa Binyas Optical. Okay, now let's go to our main topic, or main part of the program, our interviews. The time is 8:09. Let's start with the issue, yung mga natatarantana who are confused and worried because people are coming down with flu-like symptoms. Let's bring in a regular, one of our favorites here on agenda. Let's bring in an epidemiologist and a member of the National Immunization Technical Advisory Group, none other than Dr. Maria Consorcia Lim-Quizon, or Doc Conky. Good morning to you, ma'am, and Happy New Year. Thank you for your time this morning. Oops, I think we have a technical. Oh, there. Okay. Doc Conky, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Cito, and good morning to all the viewers.
Okay, thank you for making time this morning, and you were first in mind because marami na kasi, Doc Conky, are worried. They're worried, what do I have? Do I have COVID? What am I going to do? Am I going to the hospital, etc.? What's going on, Doc Conky?
Okay. What's going on? Omicron is here. Okay? Never, kahit na sinabi ng gobyerno natin na 4 pa lang ang nag-positive o kung ilan dahil nga nagtatagal yung genome test, may tinatawag kami na epidemiologic link. Kung may nag-positive na yun, i-assume mo na nandito na at yun na nagiging dahilan ng pagkakahawa. So having said that, lubhang napakabilis, high transmissibility itong variant na to. That's the bad news. But the good news is, karamihan sa mga nai-infect ay mild or asymptomatic. No? Kaya wag tayong matakot. Kung nandyan. Meron naman tayong panlaban, meron naman tayong magagawa para hindi tayo ma-ospital o hindi tayo mamatay, so to speak.
Okay, so the bad news is Omicron is here. Bakit? Why is it, Doc Conky? And maybe I'm just not completely aware of all the announcements. People I have asked have not heard an official announcement. Why is it that many of government officials are saying, well, it's probably Omicron. Omicron is probably here, but there is no official confirmation. Ang galing-galing naman ng Philippine Genome Center kung tutuusin.
Kung tutuusin talaga magaling pero ang issue dito is napapatest ba natin lahat? Halimbawa, yung 10,000 mahigit na na-test for that's basically para do sa COVID. Tapos may next step, ipapa-genome mo kung Omicron nga o hindi. Napakamahal. Sito, hindi mo naman, it's not practical na kada, para sa atin dito sa Pilipinas, kada itetest mo for COVID, antibano or agad-agad ipapatest mo rin sa genome. Kung kaya, sabi ko nga, pwede ka na mag-epidemiological link doon na dahil nag-positive na yun. Pangalawa, yung exponential rise. Yung nag-umpisa tayo na 500, 1,000, 1,500, tapos biglang how many days? 10,000 na. Isa na nga yun sa mga sintomas, so to speak, na Omicron nga siguro ito.
Now, I know you're an epidemiologist. I don't know if you are the right person to ask, but given that link, what now will I tell viewers or friends who are asking, what are we supposed to do if we have suspicions? Kasi may argument ngayon about this self-testing. In fact, if you saw the news earlier, Yusek Berheri was pointing out, go to a professional because and even Charles Lejano was mentioning to me earlier, kuya, dami mga false positive dyan sa mga antigen na yan eh.
In the first place, since last year pa issue na tong antigen testing, talagang ang pinapanukala natin or ang pinupush natin is yung RT-PCR and not the antigen. Okay? Pangalawa, kasi hindi nabibilang, hindi officially kasama sa bilangan ng mga nagpa-positive itong antigen testing, no? Palibasa naman kasi yung mga karamihan sa atin makikimura, mas mura ng konti ang antigen testing kaysa sa RT-PCR. Subalit hindi yun ang definitive na makakapagsabi sa atin na ngayong oras na to, ikaw ay positive and therefore ikaw ay nakakahawa. Yung ganon. Hindi yun masasabi ng antigen testing sa atin.
Okay. Yeah, good. Sorry.
So what I'm trying to say is kung ganun din lang na sang-ayon ako na please go to professional testing centers and although mas mahal ang RT-PCR, ang swab test, it has to be the RT-PCR.
Okay, some people are saying, well, if you got it, just stay home and self-medicate or isolate. Now, if the entire family, because like one particular example mentioned to me yesterday was that there are like five people and only one person was not only one person did not have the symptoms. Now, paano gagawin mo doon? Okay, walang labasan. No one goes out of the house. What about the person who's not manifesting? Should that person get out of the house? Parang bahala na kayo dyan.
Oo, no, hindi naman. Parang bahala ka, leave the sinking ship. Hindi naman. Kasi nga sabi ko sa yung epidemiological link, may sintomas yung iba, ikaw wala, pero kasama ko doon sa household. You assume na infected ka. So, hindi ka lang nagmamanifest. So, utang na loob, huwag kang lumabas at magkalat.
Okay, what then do you do? Because people are, we saw that in a panic, people went to the drugstore, to Watson, to Mercury, and to generics and bought up all of the paracetamol. I mean, is paracetamol the solution?
Hindi po solusyon ng paracetamol, ha. Yun panlaban kung ikaw ay may nilalagnat o masakit na ang katawan mo, palibasa ito nga yung mga main symptoms ng flu. Hindi ko sinasabing COVID agad, kundi ng flu, di ba? Excuse me. So, anong gagawin? Kung pwede kung nasa bahay kayo, hiwa-hiwalay. Yung maglayo-layo, kahit na ba nasabi mong 4 na dyan ng positive, still, huwag kayo magsama-sama, total pare-pareho tayong positive. Layo-layo pa rin po hanggat sa maaring i-accommodate ng bahay. No? Because people are gonna tell me, bakit mansion ba bahay natin? Hindi naman sa ganon. Kung merong nasa sala, nasa kwarto ka, nasa may labas ka, ganon, para lang may social distancing pa rin sa loob ng bahay.
Yeah, does ventilation, maximum ventilation, kasi ako meron akong ginagawa, I don't know if it's crazy, insane, but when people are around me, I turn on all the fans. I put like 4 fans in the room. Will this help in, kung lahat kayo may tama, hindi ba lalong kakalat yan or mapapatay ba? Will it kill the virus?
Number 1, open the windows, para nun, lumalabas, 4 or 5 electric fans ka nga, di ka nagbukas ng bintana. Okay, kasi alam mo, Cito, self-limiting naman. Karamihan sa mga diseases are self-limiting. Kung 4, 5 araw, 7 araw yon, matatapos din, okay? So kung ano man yung nararamdaman o yung inconveniences o mga dapat gawin, may limitasyon naman, matatapos din. So, yun nga, yung example mo na buong household ay may sakit, although mild, or maybe some are asymptomatic, just, matatapos din. Gawin lang yung mga dapat gawin na pangalagaan ng sarili at pangalagaan yung masyadong magpugad within the group, yung sakit, then mairaraos din.
In terms of medication, is there anything to take? Because I remember at the start or the middle part of all of this COVID thing, there were people who were saying, don't take this kind of medicine, don't take this kind of medicine, baka magkaroon pa kayo ng mga bleeding, etc. Alam mo naman ang Pilipino, kung minsan, magse-self-medicate. Kumbaga, tayo yung yung tawag na, the antibiotic capital of the world. Paano na ngayon?
Well, in general, lahat ng viral diseases, lahat ng mga sakit na ang sanhi ay virus, ang dyan ay tinatawag na symptomatic treatment. Kung ano nararamdaman mo nung oras na yon, yun lang muna ang iinumin mong gamot. Masakit ang ulo mo, may lagnat ka, iinom ka ng paracetamol para mawala yun. Hanggang dun lang na muna. Kung hindi ka pa inuubo, huwag kang iinom ng para sa ubo. Ganun yun. Kaya tinatawag na, and by all means, please, wag muna po kayong mag-antibiotic. Isang araw kang inubo, nilagnat, inom ka na kagad ng antibiotic. And for that matter naman, Cito, medyo meron naman tayong safety net dyan dahil hindi naman tayo pwedeng bumili ng antibiotic by and large, no? Kung walang reseta ng doktor.
Okay, given that this is widespread already because in fact the Octa Research Group, one of their officers mentioned, we are coming up with the 10,000 number, but that may only be 10% of the actual number. Right. Now, for those who are vaccinated, and you are in the panel for immunization, for those who are vaccinated, nasasabi na mild to asymptomatic lang yung kaso. But what about the unvaccinated? Have you received reports of how they are doing under Omicron? Kasi baka iniisip naman nila, hindi na ako papabakuna kasi mild lang naman pala yung Omicron na yan.
Oo. Sige, sugal mo buhay mo. Yun naman na masasabi ko, sa bahala ka sa buhay mo kung gano'n. Kasi nga, sinasabi naman sa atin na pag bakunado ka, protektado ka against yung hospitalization and the severe form of the disease. Kung wala kang bakuna, wala kang sugal mo, sige, maybe by the grace of God, mild ka lang o symptomatic, paano? Kung ikaw yung tamaan dahil hindi mo alam comorbidity ka or tamaan ka talaga ng severe. No? So ang sinasabi ko Cito is that one of the hospitals, one of the big metropolitan Manila hospitals has reported that 60% ng mga admissions nila ay hindi bakunado. Okay? So tapos bukod sa na-admit ka, ibig sabihin medyo alanganin ka na, di ba? Medyo baka severe ka na. So pag hindi ka bakunado, yung probability mo na mabawian ng buhay, na hindi lang severe, maging critical, mamatay ka, lalong lumalaki pag hindi ka bakunado. So please, vaccines work. Vaccines prevent hospitalizations and deaths.
Okay, given if your family or a household is infected or symptomatic of COVID, flu-like or COVID-like symptoms, and they have no choice but to quarantine at home, up to how long? Kasi meron ako mga kaibigan in my Bible group na sabi, okay na kami. Everyone has recovered. This is about after 4 days. And this is about 4 families in a row had the same manifestation. Una, panic lahat, nagpapadasal, and then they all started taking care of themselves. And after 4 or 5 days, okay na kami, wala nang fever, wala nang ubo. But how long should they stay in before they even have themselves tested again? 7 days, 14 days ba? Kasi hindi ba may mga quarantine period?
Ideally, it's 14 days. Kasi gumaling ka nga, pero yung period of infectivity mo na nakakahawa ka sa iba ay nandun pa at yun ang gusto nating iwasan. So ideally, it's 14 days. Pero alam mo, dahil nga yung sinasabing mild itong Omicron, even the US CDC is recommending, kalalabas nila na 5 days. Pero lubhan nakakatakot yun. 5 days na sinasabi nila na okay lang sa kanila dahil mas mataas ang vaccination rate nila, including para sa mga bata. So sa kanila okay yon. Pero sa atin, it's got to be 14 days.
Okay, and what do you see with this? How do you see this scenario? Ito ba kasi may mga nagsasabi, okay lang yan, let it spread as long as the vaccination levels are high because after 1 month, it'll all disappear. Parang we are all doing the Hallelujah prayer or the Hail Mary prayer na after 30 days gone. Do you believe that that's gonna happen?
Sabi ko nga sa'yo, self-limiting kasi ito, may cycle, no? May cycle yung hangganan ng i-infect niya. Kung kaya, alam mo kung this is area specific. May mga LGU na nag-curfew na naman o kaya sabi bawal lumabas yung mga below 11 and so on and so forth. That makes sense. Kasi kung wala nang lulundagan yung virus, it will die a natural death. So kung nasa loob lang tayo, nag-quarantine tayo, naglahat, fine. So yung sinasabi mo matatapos din ba? Oo, matatapos. But that doesn't mean na we will win battles. Okay? Matatapos itong part na to. Pero kung sasabihin natin na tapos as in tapos, it's far from over.
Yeah, but I medyo kahapon nag-share na naman yung isang kaibigan ko from the US, sent me a Viber message. Apparently, they discovered another variant in Marseille, France. It came from Cameroon daw, and they call it IHU. Muntik na nga ako mapamura Espanyol eh. Kasi iho eh. Iho. Di ba? But anyway, hindi pa tayo tapos. We're not even finished with Omicron, and now we have iho. Although that's still subject to debate.
Yeah,
Kasi sometimes it becomes a problem, sometimes it's not. What's your reading on that?
Well, there will be variants and there will be variants. Habang dumadami yan, talagang kung ano-ano ang magsusulputan, okay? So hihintayin natin or yung like itong Omicron na to, 'di ba? Naghintay muna tayo na bago sabihin na it's a variant of concern. Okay? Kasi kung hindi mo mabibilang talaga. Ito na lang Omicron na to, ang bilang niya B.1.1.259 yata. Ibig sabihin, doon sa B series pa lang, ika-259th variant na siya. Yung ganun. So katakot-takot yan. We will just have to wait and see.
Okay, one of our texters with the number ending 6297, wag niyo pong pupustahan ha, 6297, texted, I have friends with comorbidities but no shot. They all have weathered the Omicron bug through hydration and vitamins D3, zinc, vitamin C, B12, and A. One took ivermectin. Ako, hindi ko po sinasadya siya ivermectin yan. Baka kung ano lumabas sa puwitan ninyo. They are doing well now. Now, what about all of that stuff? You know, because I mean, I for one take all the vitamins. Is this going to help us against fighting Omicron?
Yes, definitely. You know, kasi number one, ang frontliner naman talaga yung katawan natin. Tayo unang defense. Okay, so if you keep the fort really robust and strong, you stop the virus dead on its track. So, kailangan malakas tayo. So,
Okay.
naniniwala naman ako sa friend mo na, bakit siya may comorbidity pero blah blah blah. Kasi kahit may comorbidity siya, malakas ang resistensya niya, and that's good. But hindi natin masasabi yan sa karamihan ng mga tao. Kaya mas mainam pa rin na may pandagdag ka na depensa, which is yung pagpapakuna nga.
Okay, pasensya ka na, Doc Conky, no? Pero kasi meron akong kaibigan dito, yung sukob, eto na naman tayo. Yung ano ba, misting. Yung misting with tent misting. Social siya eh. Kasi bandang Makati, may tent misting daw siya. Well, you know, we use that for flu.
Yeah.
What about for Omicron?
Well, alam mo yung mga yon, ang masasabi ko, sige, it's good. Well, if you've got it and you can do it, sige lang. Pero yung para imungkahi natin yon as a general preventive measure for the general population, hindi siguro. Meron pang mas mabisa na pamamaraan.
Baka mamaya pag kayo po ay nagpasingaw at nagpausok, mapagkamalang kayong tinola o barbecue. Anyway, any last advice, Doc Conky? Of course, not last, but just for today's interview, any statement, advice that you can give for our viewers?
Okay. Unless proven otherwise, you know, let's just assume that Omicron is here. And it's not a cause for panic because we have been able to defend ourselves so far in the past 2 years. Resilient po ang Pinoy. Kakayanin natin to, number one, by practicing yung minimum public health standards and pagbababakuna. Okay? Kaya po natin ito. We should not panic.
Okay, that's a good message. Doc Conky, thank you very much for joining us this morning and giving us that word of encouragement. Don't panic. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Cito.
Okay, and that's Medyo ang haba ng pangalan no? Dr. Maria Consorcia Lim-Quizon, member of the National Immunization Technical Advisory Group. Okay. And now let's move on to next topic of major concern. Marami na naman po. There are numerous reports of people on social media or even through their phones just receiving messages where they are being told, this is your bank, so and so we would like to verify the authenticity of your account, or your account may be frozen if we are not able to verify your security name, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, when we have these concerns regarding cybersecurity scams, the number one go-to gentleman in the country right now is Mr. Art Samaniego, a cybersecurity advocate. Manong Art, good morning.
Good morning, Cito.
Okay, Manong Art, you're the guy who I think you spend more time just monitoring all of these cyber scams, all of this modus operandi. Marami na namang pinadala sa akin the other day at saka kahapon na may nagpapanggap na BDO, nagpapanggap na BPI, etc. And all parang yung site ba medyo talaga nang aasar RIP, parang rest in peace PH, di ba? So anyway, Manong Art, what have you noticed? What are your observations regarding the situation?
Kahapon nga kumalat yung BDO. Mga BDO phishing attempts ulit. Kasi pag naging biktima ka ng isang cyber attack, 50%, more than 50%, magiging biktima ka ulit in the next few months. So ngayon, tinatarget ulit yung mga BDO account holders na nabiktima ng phishing, tinatarget ulit ng mga cyber criminals. So kahapon kumalat yung text message na may link. Kung titignan mo yung link, kung itatype mo yung link, papunta ka talaga sa BDO nun. Pero pag kinlik mo siya, ibang website ang mapupuntahan mo. So yung mga ito galing yan, Notifier LLC galing yung yung mga messages. Yan. Yung may mga links kahapon. Ito, pag kinlik mo tong link na to, mapupunta ka sa site na sa Vietnam.
Aha.
Na naka-host sa Vietnam. Pero it does not mean na Vietnamese yung uma-attack sa atin. Ito kasi mga site na to, ito yung mga vulnerable sites. Hinahack yan, tinitake over ng mga hackers, tapos naglalagay sila ng mga fake websites doon. Itong sa GCash, makikita mo yan, ni-report ko na kahapon yan, pero until now nag-uusap tayo, chinek ko, naka-up pa rin siya. Kahapon, maraming na biktima to. Meron ako nakausap na isang senior citizen, kagigising niya. Nakita niya sinasabing, kailangan niya i-verify ang account niya because there are lots of dummy accounts. So, she needs to verify her accounts para malaman nila na totoo. So, si Lola, kinlik niya. Pag-click niya, kailangan niya mag-login. Yan, yung number niya, tapos verify. Ayun, nawalan siya ng 20,000 pesos. Buti na lang, yung na-withdraw niya na-withdraw na niya earlier, yung perang pinadala ng mga apo niya sa mga anak niya.
Okay, so yung the simple that quick nag-click siya and within how many minutes or hours nawala yung 20,000 sa account niya?
So nag-click siya at nagbigay siya ng details niya, yung number niya.
Oo.
Tapos pati yung OTP niya, pinadala niya din kasi nagbibigay ng OTP.
Mm-hmm.
So ito ang problema kasi pag ganito, walang kasalanan ang GCash. Pag maloko ka, kasi binigay mo yung information na yun. Kaya nagmamakaawa na nga ako sa mga nakakakita sa mga post ko na paki-share naman sa tito at tita nyo saka sa lolo at lola nyo. Mm-hmm. Kasi napakadelikado talaga nito at hindi kasalanan ng bangko, hindi kasalanan payment apps pag na-scam ka.
That's a very good point, Art, because a number of people have also raised that concern with me. Now, we should remind our viewers, if you have elderly relatives, elderly parents, grandparents, uncles, who are not tech savvy or who are not familiar with online transactions, to make an arrangement that someone is checking on them or helping them do this. Kasi hindi lang sa internet scam, Art, may mga matatanda na may mga yaya, hindi ko naman nilalahat, may caregiver na yung pala yung caregiver ang principal scammer. Hinuhut-hutan na yung bank account o pinambibili rin ng personal needs nila yung pera ng kanilang inaalagaan. So that's a very good call that you mentioned. Now, may question dito, no? We have a people want answers segment. If you'll give me 5 seconds, there is a list of questions here for people want answers. And okay, pasensya ka na, hindi ako techie. Anyway, number 1 question. How can we identify authentic transactions from the bank?
So number 1, your bank will never ask for your username and password. Pag nagtanong yan ng username and password, ibig sabihin scam yan. Wag mong ibibigay yung mga information mo. Pangalawa, pag nagpadala sila sa iyo ng link, may pinadala sa yung link sa Messenger, it may look like gcash.com.ph or metrobank.com.ph ang nakasulat. Pero when you hover, di ba meron kang cursor ng mouse mo?
Oh.
Ilagay mo lang siya sa ibabaw, huwag mo i-click, ilagay mo lang siya sa ibabaw ng link. Pagkatapos tignan mo yung lower left corner ng browser mo, makikita mo doon yung tunay na link. Pag nagpadala sa iyo Metrobank o Union Bank, dapat Union Bank o Metrobank din yung nakalagay doon. Pero may mga link na nilalagyan sa dulo ng additional words. Ingatan din natin to. Kahit nakalagay dyan, online.bdo.com.ph, pag merong at merong nakalagay pa na additional rebrandly, merong nakalagay na bit.ly, scam po yan, iwasan natin yan.
Okay, ulitin natin yan. Let's repeat that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you receive such a message, put your cursor on top of the address or ano man tawag mo doon? Address ba yun?
URL, yes.
Okay, doon sa URL. Pag iniwan ninyo yung cursor nyo doon o yung arrow, dapat sa kaliwang bahagi on the left lower part of the screen, the name of the sender, the actual address will come out. So
yes.
If it is BPI at the top, at the center top, it should also BPI at the bottom. But if it is BPI plus XXXYYY or whatever may dinagdag dun sa kanilang pangalan, medyo hindi po totoo yan. And I know that, Manong Art, kasi bago mo ko chinutor din ako ng misis ko dahil sabi, wag ka nag-click ng kung ano-ano, baka maubos yung savings natin. Anyway, so what else, Manong Art?
Pag naka-receive kayo ng message na may link, lalo na pag sinasabing galing sila sa bangko, galing sila sa financial institutions, o galing sila sa mga payment apps, huwag nyo nang i-click.
I haven't seen any of that, Art. What sort of message do you get this from FB Messenger or is this a text message?
Sa text message at sa FB Messenger. So ito ngayon may na-receive nga ako na message na sinasabing ma-deactivate na yung GCash ko.
Yun. Okay. I heard that from my friend na ma-deactivate yung kanyang account.
At naka-receive ako ng message from BDO na kailangan kong i-active, kailangan kong i-verify yung account ko. Problema nito, wala akong BDO account. So alam ko na scam na.
Actually, very common yan kasi may mga kaibigan ko, si Maring Charmaine told me, paano nangyari yun, Cito? They're asking me to verify a non-existent account. What do you mean non-existent? I don't have an account with that bank. But what does that mean, Art? Are they just simply blasting to any and how can they do that? Kasi parang you would imagine that if there is an attack, it would be targeted. Hindi itong to whom it may concern.
So it's a type of phishing attempt. It's a phishing attack na generic phishing attack. So papadala nila sa lahat ng email, papadala nila sa lahat ng number na meron sila, papadala nila lahat sa messenger na meron sila. So ito yung magiging problema. Halimbawa, yung account mo na compromise. Yung Facebook mo na compromise kasi nag-click ka ng link at nagbigay ka ng details mo. Pag na-compromise yung account mo, ang unang gagawin ng mga kriminal, i-message lahat yung mga friends mo. So in effect, naging part ka ng scam kasi account mo yung ginamit at message lahat yung mga followers mo. Yung mga followers mo naman maniniwala na, uy, eto, padala ng kaibigan ko to, padala to ni Cito, kailangan ko sagutin. Kailangan nila ng pera.
Alam mo, that happened to me yesterday. Merong nagpadala sa akin sa FB Messenger nung link ng Toyota na Christmas, natawa ka dyan eh. Malay ko ba? Nagtiwala ako sa kaibigan. So binuksan ko. Noong nakita kong parang Christmas promo, magkakaroon kang libreng kotse. Sabi ko, parang ogag ito ah. Tapos ginawa ko, tinawagan ko yung si Vince Soko ng Toyota. Sabi ko, Sir Vince, ano ba to? Sabi niya, scam. Ang bilis nga, laki. All caps, scam. Okay, I thought so. So I told my friend, oy, scam yan. December 2018 pa raw yung scam na yan, pinapadala mo pa sa akin. So we should also be careful about sending to our friends. So hindi lang bangko, pati yung mga promo. What happens when you click those, katulad yung sa niloloko yung Toyota?
Ang mangyayari doon, hindi lang yung Toyota, meron Rolex, meron Toyota, Mercury, lumabas kahapon, Mercury na promo na ganun. Pag kinlik mo, hihingi siya sa'yo ng mga information na pwedeng gamitin against you. So, hihingi siya ng name mo, birthday mo, address mo, kasi i-deliver daw yung
package
items. So pag nabigay mo itong mga details na to, pwede na itong gamitin against you. Pwedeng nakawin yung identity mo, gamitin yung information tungkol sa'yo. At ito yung pinakamasaklap dyan. Pag nanakaw yung identity mo, at mukhang legit talaga, ikaw yung sisingilin ng credit card, ikaw yung sisingilin ng bangko, ikaw yung sisingilin ng pinagkakautangan ng kriminal. Kaya dapat ingat tayo sa pagbibigay ng mga information natin.
Okay, quick questions. If it is an inside job, does it mean that the bank can't protect us? Kasi yung sa isang kilala ko, there is a bank officer that calls them. Pag, sir, malaki itong withdrawal na ito, or sir, malaki itong check na ito, or we have to send you the credit card, can we get your address? Yung mga ganon. Kung actual person from the bank, may protection ka ba kung yung maldita na empleyado na-scam ka?
Hindi, wala kang protection. Mananakawan ka talaga. Pero, babalik ng bangko kasi malalaman nila na scam yun eh. Malalaman nila na crime yung ginawa. So ibabalik dapat ng bangko yun.
Okay. Is there a need for the bank to review their security features? Kasi parang, di ba, ikaw na nga yung nag-raise ng red flag the other year or last year regarding BDO, regarding Globe, etc. Isa ngayon ba, are you satisfied? Because even the central bank has said that the banking industry needs to ramp up their defense positions.
Kailangan kasi ng mga financial institutions natin na i-update and upgrade yung cybersecurity postures nila.
Mm-hmm.
So dapat updated lagi. Yung mga cyber criminals laging nandiyan, laging ready yung mga cyber criminals. Pag nagkaroon ka ng konting mali, talagang gagawa at gagawa ng paraan yan. So yung BDO, for example, it's a 10-year system, yung banking system nila. Pero ang banking system kasi kahit meron ang gumagamit ngayon ng mga 20, 30-year-old banking system. Pero ito kasi, ang ginawa nila, mukhang ang 10-year-old system nila, yung sa online banking nila, na due for replacement na ng January. Natira sila ng December. So naunahan sila dun sa pag-update nila.
Okay. Last question. Do you believe that the registration of SIM cards is going to stop all of this scamming?
It would minimize, but it would not stop.
Okay.
So yung mga petty crimes using text messages, matitrace na siya. So it does not mean naman na isang tao isang SIM card lang.
SIM card.
For the SIM card registration, kahit meron kang 50, basta ma-register yan under your name, walang problema.
Okay. Well, Sir Art, thank you very much for your time this morning, for the very informative discussion, and for being friendly to agenda always. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's Art Samaniego, cybersecurity advocate, and our favorite go-to guy pag nagkakatanungan na regarding scams online and of course other phishing, etc. situations. We will go for a quick break, and when we return, we will bring in a gentleman who I came to know about during the Christmas holidays because may nagmagandang loob na nagpadala ng pagkadami-daming pagkain. Wala akong paglagyan kasi ang liit ng aking refrigerator, and someone informed me about the Karinderia ni Mang Urot. Okay, Mr. Benjie Abad, we will bring him in for our final interview after the break. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran. Thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV and viewers of One News PH, and of course for tuning in to Agenda every morning, every weekday morning from 8 in the morning to 9. Now let's go to our third and final guest. And he's a feel-good guest, a very exemplary gentleman, Mr. Benjie Abad, founder of the Karinderia ni Mang Urot. Good morning, Benjie. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Sir Cito, and to your viewers. It's an honor to be interviewed sa show nyo. Fan ako ng dad nyo, si Sir Louie.
Okay. Thank you for that, Benjie. Alam mo, I found out about your activity or your project through your friend Kitty. And kasi, ladies and gentlemen, someone blessed me with so much food during the Christmas. Nagpapapayat na ako at saka I'm trying to be vegan. Padalan ka ba naman ng kadami-daming hamon? Sabi ko, let's find a kitchen or food kitchen or whatever. And we heard of Karinderia ni Mang Urot. Now, Benjie, how did this Karinderia ni Mang Urot start, and what is it really all about?
Okay, by the way, thank you po dun sa 30 kilos ng bone-in ham na bigay nyo ni Ma'am Karen. Yung mga homeless, nakakain sila ng hamon and queso de bola ditong Christmas season.
Ikaw talaga ngayon, nagkakamot ng mga tao. Saan nakakuha ng 30 kilos ng hamon yan si Beltran? Anyway,
Pati
sige.
ako rin, sir, nakakain tuloy.
Okay, so anyway.
Nagsimula siya when mga 2012, naglalakad ako along Quezon Ave. Pag tapat ko sa isang restaurant, may nakita akong dalawang bata, katabi niya yung basurahan, no? Kumakain sila nung manok. So I assumed na yung manok ni-retrieve nila galing sa basurahan. So that made me act. So nag-isip ako kung anong paraan dahil parang malaking mali na makita ko yung kababayan ko na kumakain ng pinulot nila sa basurahan. Doon siya nagsimula, sir.
How difficult is it to run ewan ko ba, paano ba ang definition? Kasi sa Amerika, ang tawag sa'yo, soup kitchen eh.
Yes.
Diba? Dito sa Pinas, ano ba ang tawag natin sa Karinderia ni Mang Urot?
Parang ganun din po, Filipino Soup Kitchen. Ako po yung unang nagtayo niyan. So, yun po ang tawag, Karinderia.
Okay, and paano mo na-organize to? Kasi there are two sides to this activity. One is the supply side and the other is the recipient side where you have to manage people. Especially during the pandemic, that is no easy task.
Opo, when God brings you to it, He will see you through it. So, hindi po kami nang hihingi ng donation. We don't solicit. Wala kaming donation button. When I need something, I go down on my knees and pray. And truly, God has provided para sa Karinderia for 10 years, almost 10 years po.
Okay, now how many mouths are there to feed?
A week po siguro mga 1,000 mouths. Ano? Pero dahil ulit ng ulit, we prepare about 3,000 to 4,500 meals every month para sa mga homeless.
Okay, wait a minute. Akala ko kasi, Benjie, this was only for the Christmas season.
Hindi po. Ang nangyari po kasi, nung una, dito lang ako sa West Triangle kasi yung community lang ang sinusuportahan ko na mahihirap dito. Nung nag-pandemic po, mas dumami yung homeless. At tapos yung ibang mga feeding program, nagsara po kasi natakot sila mahawa. So I took that opportunity.
Ito ang tunay na pag-ibig, oh.
Yan.
Hirap, magkasama pa rin, oh. O, nahinga si Pogi, oh.
Ayan po. So lalo kong pinaigting. Nagpunta na rin po ako ng Manila, Caloocan, San Juan. Isa po may homeless, ini-seek out ko. Tapos dinadalhan ko sila ng at least hapunan.
Okay, now, so this is an ongoing advocacy year-round.
Yes po. When I saw the two kids eating fried chicken they retrieved from the garbage, I made a pledge to my God to feed the hungry until the day I die. So vow ko po yan sa Diyos. Hindi ko yan tatantanan.
Okay, now sa estimate mo, nakakailang tao ka na or well, on a monthly basis, what's the average again? Medyo parang kasi na-distract ako dun sa audio kanina eh.
Opo, 3,000 to 4,000 meals a month po ang napiprepare ng Karinderia ni Mang Urot.
Okay, and do you actually have people who have signed up? Kumbaga, Benjie, sali mo na kami sa listahan. Ito ang commitment namin dyan. Or paano mo ba inorganize yung supply side? Kasi, pare, 3 to 4,000. Maraming Tsaka ano yan? Araw-araw ka nagpapakain ng 3 to 4,000?
Every other day po, mga 250 to 300, 3 to 4,000 a month. So marami po nagvo-volunteer and marami ring nag-donate pag nakikita nila. Though we don't actively solicit. So tinatanggap ko po na kaya ganyan dahil by the power of the Almighty. Pinapupunta sa akin yung mga tao. Kagaya nyo, nakapagbigay kayo ng 30 kilos ng ham. So hindi po nauubusan pagka ang gawain para sa Panginoon, hindi po siya mauubusan.
Okay, and pare ko, hindi mo naman siguro pwedeng kinakarir mo na yan, Benjie, kasi feeding 250, 300 people every other day means you have to have a big kitchen, means you have to have, kasi ako magluto lang para sa aming mag-asawa pag 3 araw na medyo sweetheart, kain na nga tayo sa labas o medyo baka maputol ko na yung daliri ko kakahiwa ng sibuyas.
Alas 6 po ng umaga, nagluluto na ako. Natatapos ako ng pagpapak ng pagkain, mga 5:30 ng hapon. Kasi po, I cannot in conscience live comfortably or in luxury while I see my countrymen suffering in poverty. So, kinarir ko na talaga.
Okay, but how do you make a living? I hope you don't mind, Benji. No, I mean, I want people to see the man behind the story. I mean, how do you make both ends meet? Kasi wait, do you have a family or single ka?
Yes po, may family. Isa lang po. Meron po akong
Pareho lang tayo.
three-door apartment, tapos yung wife ko nag-work siya sa call center. May anak po akong engineer tsaka isang flight attendant. So okay naman po sa
Yun. God has provided and medyo stable naman kayo. So this has allowed you to focus on this. Pero ikaw ba, may sideline ka man lang ba para sa kasi baka sabihin ng anak mo, Papa, we will contribute. Pero yung panggastos mo, balak sa buhay mo.
Wala akong sideline. Ang kumukuha ko ng pera sa anak ko at sa asawa ko. And of course, syempre hindi naman pwedeng hindi magalaw yung ibang donations, panggasolina, pangkain. Parang na-incorporate na yung buhay ko doon sa service. Parang gano'n na po.
Okay. Now, how do people sign up? Kasi akala ko, Benji, you just receive cooked or processed products na parang pinapackage mo lang. Kasi pinapanood ko, bumibili ka pa ng styrofoam box o carton box. Pagkatapos yung pinadala sa aking pictures ng asawa ko, ay kayo mismo yung pumuputol ng mga pagkain at piniprepare. How do people join you in this endeavor?
Nag-tie up po sa akin yung I Volunteer Philippines. So lumalabas doon yung activities namin. And sa Facebook, nakikita nila yung Karinderia ni Mang Urot. And yung supplies po kasi, kung ano po yung dumarating, we make good use of it. Halimbawa, pera, pwedeng pambili ng Jollibee or ng kung ano man ibibili. Kung manok, lulutuin. Depende po yung kung anong supplies. Kami po ang nag-a-adjust para ma-prepare yon para sa mahihirap.
So kung ako ay magpatay ng 50 tinaling pansabong at padalang kita ng pressure cooker, talo-talo pa rin yun. Kahit papatulan.
Anything po na mapapakinabangan ng mahirap, ito-turn over ko po para naman mabawasan ang kahirapan nila.
Okay, now, what about accountability? Kasi pasensya ka na, hindi naman kita pinagdududaan. Pero there are many organizations, companies, and even bosses na, hey, that's really noble undertaking that Benjie Abad is doing. But how sure are we that there won't be any controversy? Kasi siyempre may mga nag-iingat din, di ba? Yung audits and accountability. Paano mo nasisiguro na kung sabihin, Benjie, yung pinadala ba namin sa inyo, pwedeng malaman kung saan napunta?
Okay. Face value po, I stand by my integrity. Pwede nila akong tingnan dito, pwede silang mag-volunteer. And the very reason po kaya hindi ako nag-register as NGO, kasi nakikita ko po, ang kumikita sa mga ganun yung mga board of directors, mas malalaki pa yung sweldo nila, doon na po napupunta yung yung malaking portion ng donation. So I made it a personal and then family and then open sa lahat ng volunteers. So ganun.
Okay, but there is a accounting process naman or parang reporting process na Kuya Cito, yung pinadala sa akin panggasolina ito or do you even send out solicitation letters?
No, we're the only NGO who does not ask for donations. Wala kaming donation button sa Facebook account namin. Wala kaming bank account information. So this is really volunteerism. So kung may tiwala sila, tatanggapin namin. Kung wala, they don't have to join Karinderia ni Mang Urot. This is based upon trust, integrity, and the love of countrymen po.
Okay, and you have been running this since what year? You said again?
2012 po, magte-10 years na sa May 5.
Magte-10 years na and maraming natutulungan. Ngayon, last question ko na lang, Benjie, bago tayo magtapos. How do you determine who to feed? Kasi alam mo, pag ako nagtayo ng pila dito sa main road ng Kapitolyo, baka walang katapusan ng pila. Yan ang kinakatakutan ng marami. People want to help, but they don't want the nightmare or the horror. Yung mga, di ba, yung mga nangyari during pandemic na ang pila 3 kilometro tapos tinira ka ng barangay.
Na-establish ko na po kasi yung discipline sa mga pinupuntahan kong lugar. And ang criteria lang namin, basta gutom ka, kahit mayaman ka, pumila ka, papakainin ka namin. So ganun, feed the hungry lang talaga.
Naku, lumayo ka sa akin, Benji. Kasi pag walang katapusan ng gutom ko, timawa ako. But anyway, I'm just trying to lighten up the day. But you know, I really want to commend you for what you're doing. And rest assured, ako naman pag meron, papadala ko pa rin sa inyo. Pero do you pick up also?
Yes, opo. Basta po makakatulong sa mahirap, kahit nasa Timbuktu yan, kukuhanin ko.
Okay. Ay, sige. So nananawagan ako sa mga kaibigan ko sa Bungero na magbabawas ng mga panabong at mga inahin. Ayan po, kontakin nyo si Benjie Abad kasi kami nakapagbigay na, nakita na namin na na-deliver sa mga nangangailangan. Please help out. Okay, thank you very much, Benjie Abad, founder Karinderia ni Mang Urot. Sana ay dumami pa kayo.
Thank you for having me, sir. God bless you.
Okay, God bless you too. And that's our program for the day, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9 o'clock and our blessing, our weekly blessing. If we could, Roy, please flash it on the screen. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. That's all for today. Thank you for watching Agenda. Please keep it here on One News PH.